Well, we're back together again. Isn't that fun? I mean, we're so lucky to have this technology so we can be together. Because I don't know about you, but I'm stir crazy too. I have a million projects and I love them, and I do all my magic things and to put in the shop, by the way, enchanted, but um, to help people. And but I have to do all these other little things all the time, which is kind of silly. Anyway, I guess that we're all doing that, but at least with this, we're together. And I'll do some one card readings tonight, as many as I can get in. Some people ask me questions, and several people said, "What kind of music do you like?" Well, it's so varied. People when I tell people, they're kind of shocked. But for the new music, I like Harry Styles. I like Pavarotti, from way back when, and I like a tribe called Red. You should listen to it. It's quite amazing. And the Dead Can Dance. That's the other group I really like. That's four that I like. Okay. I think with next Tuesday, I'm going to help you learn how to charge a magic wand and prove it to yourself that it is charged. As I usually teach that in second degree, but I figured, why not let everybody, if you want to, you can, but you have to have a wand. And that doesn't mean you have to necessarily buy one. If you have a piece of wood, maybe just, I don't know, about 18 or 20 inches long at least. That could be a wand. And it has to have a tapered end, heavier end. So yes, you can buy one because there's enchanted sells the ones by Dara makes, but that's beside the point. If you don't have access to all that now, um, a tree branch, anything will do. All right, and you can learn how to use a magic wand that's real. Tonight, I wanted to mention too that we have a lot of psychics. We have Salem psychics, and you can go online to Enchanted, and there's Salem psychics. And we have a new one tonight. She's a dear friend of mine, and she's marvelous and magnificent. Her name is Lady Ashton. And Lady Ashton is extremely psychic. So if you're looking to do phone readings, that's one person you should really get. She's part of the Cabot clan. And then, of course, doing this also is Heather. She's amazing. When is Heather's nights to do this?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. Heather's tomorrow night. And then what about Diane?
Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Wednesday and Saturday is Diane. Diane's in London, and she's phenomenal as well. All really amazing psychics, and they're doing what I'm doing now. But Lady Ashton is doing the money thing. So, but it's believe me, worth having her speak to you. She's a writer and a high priestess. She's a third degree witch. I thought because we're still in a waning moon means it's after the full moon. The moon starts getting smaller and smaller to our vision. That's when we do magic to get rid of things, obstacles. So I thought, if you would like, I will count you down into alpha and do a meditation spell. Counting into alpha means you're going to close your eyes and keep them closed and relax. And then I will repeat. Number 7 is red, 6 is orange, 5 is yellow, 4 is green, 3 is blue, 2 is indigo. Indigo is like the midnight sky. And number 1 is orchid. And that will, by the time I've counted that, with your eyes shut, your brainwave will have slowed down to make you very psychic. And then I'll add another 10 to 1 count. And then I'll say, look up on the screen of your mind. And what we're going to bring in on our screen is the virus. We don't know what it really looks like. So whatever little image comes in, that is it. You're just going to draw it in. It can't hurt you. When you're doing this work, you don't take on symptoms. It's not going to hurt you. Bring it in, and then we're going to make it disappear. Chip it away in your mind's eye, or use your hand and get rid of the virus completely. Wash it away. And then we're going to give ourselves health clearance. Put our hands here, like this. I'm giving myself health clearance. And keep your eyes shut through the whole thing. It makes your psyche so much more powerful. If you open your eyes, your brainwave goes up and the psychic connection with all this is broken. So once we've looked at that, the virus, and we've made it disappear. We disintegrated it. We're going to erase the screen with our hand and give ourselves health clearance, and then I will count you back up. I'll count 1 to 7 and 1 to 10, and then you can open your eyes. So everyone, if you'd like, get comfortable, and close your eyes. Relax every muscle in your body, and relax all the little muscles around your eyes. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through your mouth. Every time you do that, deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, your oxygen rises through your body, gives you more oxygen. Keep your eyes shut now and look up on the screen of your mind, your mind's eye. Number 7 is red. See the number 7 and see the color red. Number 6 is orange. See the number 6 and see the color orange. 5 is yellow. See the number 5 and see the color yellow. 4 is green. See the number 4 and see the color green in your mind's eye. Number 3 is blue. See the number 3 and bring in the color blue. Number 2 is indigo, like the midnight sky. Number 1 is orchid, very fine lavender. You are now in alpha level. I will now count from 10 to 1, at which time you will be in a more perfect working level. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to bring a picture of the virus up on the screen of our minds, right where your third eye is in your forehead. We're going to see whatever it looks like to you. We're bringing in the virus on the screen. As you look at that, it could look like a dot, it could look black, it could look white. I don't know how it's going to appear for you. So now that we have it on the screen of our minds, in our mind's eye, we're going to disintegrate it. We're going to completely chop it away and destroy it. no matter how you want to do that. I'm going to use my hand and brush it and just brush it away completely and watch it disintegrate. It is done. I'm going to erase the screen of my mind now with my hand and give myself total health clearance. Hand up over your head, down in front of your face, out to the universe to clear your body of illness or harm. Now it's done. That was the spell. We're going to count back. You can relax a minute with your eyes shut. Keep your eyes shut. Relax in alpha for a moment. Like I said, relax all the muscles in your body. We're going to count up from alpha now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Open your eyes. Wow, I'm hoping no one really fell asleep, but that can happen. So now we have in mass, everyone watching, which or not, has done the meditation spell to rid the world of the virus. It can't hurt, and it could happen. Is the more people that use their magic, the more things manifest. We're going to also talk, in the next couple of weeks, what I'm going to do every Tuesday and Thursday, I will talk about a magic subject for a little while, like astrology, herbalism, divination. We did some candle magic. We can do that, and we can do fairy magic, and I can help you learn how we do this and how we use these spells and things if you'd like. And only a tiny bit. One of the other things I wanted to talk about is having community or neighbors do ribbon spells. You get a ribbon that's about 4 feet long, and on each end of it you draw a symbol for healing. Now that could be a cross, it could be as above so below, it could be a pentacle, or a heart, anything for love to kill this illness. And then we find a tree for everybody in your neighborhood to tie the ribbon in a tree. You might have to put a ladder up against the tree so people can get up there to tie their ribbons. And that's being done in Maine. It's being done in several states right now. We have one here in Salem. There's an ancient tree called the Cooley tree in Cornwall near Modron's Well. Modron's Well is an ancient spring well for that goddess, Modron. And right next to it is this huge tree, and it's so old, it's got to be over 100 years old, and because there are ribbons at the very top, and they're ragged and bits and pieces. But people go there all the time and tie ribbons to the tree and allow Mother Nature to take over and send the message and the magic out. My suggestion for colors of ribbon might be orange, yellow and gold, green are 3 good colors, or anything like white. It doesn't matter as long as you get your symbol on it. And think about, as you're drawing the symbol on the ribbon, think about what it represents, because that mindset is what sends the energy into the ether. And we're talking about science now, because that is the way it works scientifically. And everybody does magic whether they realize it or not. And sometimes they need to realize it, because you have to be careful what you ask for. You could get it. So, Diane and Heather and Lady Ashton is going to be tonight on Salem Psychics. I wanted to tell you a story about magic that happened to a friend of mine, and she's called the Teddy Bear Witch. And she lives in another state. Ellen. When she was taking classes with me, I was doing classes near Harvard University at an adult education center. And this is way back in the 70s we're talking about. And Ellen had to take a bus to come there to take the class. And it's early evening, so it was dark out. And she was sitting in the bus looking at her reflection in the window. And in her mind, because it was a reflection, she remembered herself standing in front of a mirror when she was about 3 years old with a teddy bear in her hands and wondering if she was a witch, asking herself, am I a witch? Well, there happened to be a man that was extremely drunk on that bus. Well, it came to his stop. He got up staggering and halted at the door holding on to that pole, turned around and looked at everyone in the bus and said, don't you know that every little girl holding a teddy bear looking into a mirror is a witch? And walked off the bus. And the reason she was thinking that is because she was doubting herself at the time. I think she got her message. That's an interesting story, and a true one. Magic helps us all, and that's what I'm eager. While I'm on and while I'm here, I don't know it all, that's for sure. I'm still learning fast, hopefully fast. It never ends. But I'm hoping to help you if you want to learn some of the techniques and the way witches do things. I also want to mention, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, the word witch and witchcraft is Indo-European only. It's not an umbrella term for magics in other cultures. Voodoo is its own magic. It has nothing to do with witchcraft. The Eurasia in Africa have their own deities and their own magic. It's very different. Witchcraft is only Indo-European and Celtic. So you can borrow magic from other cultures, but you have to be careful because when we do magic, when witches do magic, we do it for the good of all. And some of them don't. I'm going to now, I think I'll start reading cards. How about that? I will start. We'll see. As you can see, I have to have these. I say that every time I'm doing this. And our friend here, Bast, the cat goddess, the Egyptian cat goddess, she's a protector, and she can help us. Her energy has been built over the centuries of people looking at her, going to her, and asking for protection. It's just like in the Catholic Church, Mary. People go to Mary to be healed, to be helped. And, well, it's like in Catholicism, they do what I call a spell. If they want to sell a house, they get a statue of St. Anthony and they bury it upside down in their front yard. Well, to me, that's a spell. And I know people that have done it, even though they're not Catholic. But that's really one of their methods of doing things. All right, let's see who's ready. Liz Carney. Liz Carney. Wow, Liz. Let's see what you have here. Okay, the Nine of Wands. Again, wands are growth. They are the ability to project what you want in life. Not the number 9, as I've said before, perpetuates itself. So whatever you're wishing for, be careful because it's going to continue and continue. It's not going to stop. That means the number 9 is taking over. So you have to see the end result, not how to get there. Because if you project how to get what you want, you'll just be doing that. You'll be going after it and after it and after it and never getting the end. Valentina Calque. All right, Valentina. Oh my goodness, 10 of coins. Money, but this has a doorway of sorts through a wooded area, and it looks like a magical doorway. And all those 10 pentacles are probably things that you need to study. You need an education, and you need to further your education, let's put it that way, in whatever you need. The subjects that you need right now, we all need to stay healthy. We all need to have our businesses thrive. And we need a job. All those things, they need to come to fruition. So let's see the end result of the job, of the well-being, and the end result of finances as well, so they can come to fruition for you. Aaron Mayhew, getting better at names, huh? The 5 of Swords, it looks very dark and dreary, and yes it is. It means if you're not taking this situation we're in seriously, you should, and you should do it quickly. This is a card of protection. It means you, because in the picture this goddess is holding a sword. So she's protecting herself as well as willing to protect whoever gets this card. And that means you have to do your job of protection as well as she does. Vanessa Dunkley. I almost thought it was Dunkin' Donuts. I was really thrilled. 8 of Wands. Vanessa, 8 of Wands. Again, growth. I think this is more to me that you should find a way, if you can, to either grow your own food or get in touch with a farm somewhere near you and get your vegetables from a farmer, a local farmer, rather than a supermarket. I think that that's probably the best way any of us should do it, if we can find the local farms. But it also means if you can, you should be growing something. And I think I suggested last time to get sunflower seeds and wildflowers and just plant them anywhere. It doesn't have to be on your property if you don't have any. It could be on a street corner, as long as you get it in the ground. And I think I told the story about sunflowers, but I'm not sure. Did I tell the story about sunflowers and what they are and what? Okay. A long time ago, there was a famine in Russia. And the famine was during the winter as well. And many, many people passed and died, starved to death. So the Tsar at that time, in the springtime, made a law, and I think I did tell this story, that you have to plant sunflowers. And the reason is you can eat the yellow petals, you can eat the seeds, and the interesting thing is at the bottom of it, in the roots, is a potato. And that potato can help you to survive. And so for many, many years after that, you'd see fields of sunflowers. I don't know if they're still doing that or not, but it would be a good idea at this point, because who knows. And so my daughter Penny and I have planted sunflowers all over the neighborhood. And I can't wait to see them. It's going to be beautiful. And morning glories, I think I mentioned that too. All right, we have Lisa Lafond, French, the 8 of Wands. I thought I just had that, no? But anyway, this is a good card. The wands are always good. In this way, it looks like not to worry that you are protected by these wands. It's like a fortress around you. So if you're trying to make things work for you, it seems that can happen. The only other thing, it need to turn some of this, your own magic inward to yourself. We have to start thinking about our inner child. We have to become our own mom and dad at this point and take care of ourselves. It's very important. And this is a time when you're staring out of windows and finding yourself alone, maybe. And that's a good time to think about yourself and heal yourself, to understand that you have courage, that you have love, that you can give love, therefore you have love. Self-esteem is a very important thing. So reassessing ourselves, it's a good time to do that. And I suggested before to write it in a journal or on a piece of paper. If I do a piece of paper, I'll lose it from it. Right away, I will lose it. Carolyn Ann. A palace of wands. The palace represents where you live. Obviously, where you live is fairly safe. I would think that the growth around you might be immense. I mean, you could have other neighbors, but there might be quite a few trees around and a little wooded area close by somewhere. And this palace means you're in a very good place. It doesn't necessarily mean you own this home that you're in, but it means you're very fortunate at this point. Even if you have and know someone with the virus, it seems it's going, from this time on, it's going to be much better and much, much better. Taylor Sims. Taylor. Like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift. And we have I need to shuffle the cards. I think I put the wrong ones down. So forgive me, and I told you I'm not good at shuffling. I have to do this. And some people can do that really fast. I see that on YouTube with some of the readers, you know, and they sit there and they do it for like 10 minutes, you know. I do it in 2 seconds. There you go. And who am I reading for? Oh, Taylor. Taylor Sims. Taylor. Sorry. This palace thing is going on. Isn't that interesting? You have the palace of coins, which means that you can have your own business. You can make money on your own, whether it's your talent or skills. It doesn't matter. You really you need to think about working at home, having your own business. An online business works. It's not that difficult. All work is work. You have to do something to keep it going. However, most of us are going to be doing businesses from home from now on. It's safer, and it's going to stay. We're going to have these same issues for a while. and maybe for a few years or more. So it's time to rethink, you know, and it looks like you have done pretty well with your money. You're pretty close with it, I would imagine. Eduardo Malta. Oh boy. 8 of Cups. Now that is fun. It's all about drinking the wine. This is Bacchus, and he is the goddess of joy and happiness, but it's also bounty. It means that you will come out of this better off than before this began. And even with love, you're going to loosen up a little bit with love. You've got to give a little bit more, and so it can be returned to you. You have to give to receive. Trisha Lion. Lion? Lion. Ace of Cups. Somebody's pregnant around you. And if it's not pregnancy, then I think I'd be careful if you didn't want to be pregnant, or someone around you may have to be really careful. But this is also showing that you will receive help from the other world, a guide of some kind. You know, like I said with someone else last time, is could be a grandfather, or it could be a spirit guide around you. And you may have a spirit guide in your house anyway that belongs to your house. Shara Lion, I guess they live together in that house, I would imagine. Okay, Sharon. Okay, the 7 of Coins. This is very fortunate, and I'm not quite sure how fortunate. We all want a money tree. We joke about it and we say, oh, money doesn't grow on a tree. Well, this says it does. And that really represents the same thing again, that if you were to take on your own business or rethink the type of work you do, you could have a money tree. It means it would last. The income and the finances would balance and come out correctly for you. That is amazing. Mada Leah. Where are you? Mada. Well, it's a card of faith. It's about how we think about our future and our own protection, our own growth. And usually that means we're asking a god or a goddess or whatever your deities are to help. And this shows that if you stick by what you believe, you're going to get help from the deity. The deity is also, the god and goddess is the anima and animus of the universal mind. The universal mind has the power and total intelligence to bring anything to anyone that wishes, if it's correct. If it's not correct for you, it won't happen. That's very rare. Sherry Anderson. Sherry. The Knight of Cups. Well, there's someone that's a water sign, or it could be you, or you're going to have to deal with water in some way, and I'm not sure what it's about. I would be careful around water because you may need help because of it. Okay. Maria Green. Hi, Maria. Also, I wanted to mention my friend Ivan, who's in Russia. He's such a wonderful person, and he's doing all kinds of magic to help the world. He's so powerful. He's a genius anyway. He's very amazing. But I wanted to say hi to you. The strength card. The strength card is just what it says. It also, that strength includes courage, forethought, caring, helping people. That's who you are, and that's what you should be doing. It's okay for you to get out and help people. It looks like you're fairly protected in some way. Deborah Basil. Deborah. Hi, Deborah. The 8 of coins. That means you're going to have a new job. Look at this guy. He's working hard. And you have to work hard for what you get. Much harder than you have. In other words, it means you need to stick to it. Take it seriously. Take your financial abilities to change so that you can survive this world. It looks as though you need lessons on how to save money and make money. And that it shows that right now. Of course, we're all learning some of that. Stanislav, you're from Russia? How wonderful. Another so many witches in Russia, and they're so wonderful. There were people way out in the tundra in Russia, in a forest, and up until around 2000 or just in the 90s, they just found out about Christianity. They had no idea. And someone told them all about it, and they went, oh, that's nice, and kept doing their magic. I'm doing all the things we do. Like on May Day, I would take the dew off the top of plants and wash our hands in it and give back to Mother Earth. And they still do that there. It's amazing. Okay, who's this? Karen Bradley? Hi, Karen. Let's see what you... Oh, I don't know if you've traveled, but you're going to. And if you travel physically, it may happen. Probably not now, but in the future, a lot of travel. But of course, we can all travel. We're traveling, I'm traveling now all over the world. And so maybe that's telling you something. If you don't know how to use a computer, you should definitely learn how to stretch that visibility of the world to yourself. Learn it one way or the other. Karen McCarthy. The King of Wands. I think we had him the other day, and I kind of expressed that he's a generous person. Strict. He may be very strict and expect the best from you. But this is a man around you, or it might have been a father figure that expected a great deal from you, put a lot of pressure on you, probably as a child. But you don't have to have that pressure now. You're your own father. You're your own mother. You can decide what you will do and don't do. And I talk about sovereignty, and I talked about that before. Like I do that funny little thing. I said, put a crown on your head, pull it down tight, and say, I will do this, and I won't do that. Sovereignty. Take a hold of your life. Rachel Klein. Now this is a very religious card in the tarot. It's judgment, like Judgment Day. But that's not how I see it at all. And it may not even mean that. But it does mean that you need to not judge. Try not to tear down, break down, or tell people what they should do right now, because I think we're all rethinking what we actually know. And be careful that you're not trying to be a know-it-all. Deborah Rathman. Deborah. Oh boy. Oh, it's interesting. This is the 3 of coins. Now the number 3 is the universal light number. Even Tesla said it was the number of the universe, and I think quantum physicists have come up with that number as well. 3, 6, and 9 are the numbers of total intelligence, the universal mind, etc. Very good numbers to use in all that you do. And because it's a pentacle, the 3 of Pentacles, I think that if you're not interested in magic, then why do you bother with this instead of finding out what it truly is? Witches have never had a devil in their deity structure. We didn't know there was one. Sorry. We have no all evil deities in our deity structure. And witchcraft is a path of life that is absolutely wonderful and fulfilling and helpful and healing and all the things that are good. If you're not already one, you should think about it. You know, and like I said, we usually don't recruit. Laurie, you shouldn't have said that. Because it's not my job to turn you into a witch. Either you are or you aren't. You could be born one, but, you know, it's like being born in a Catholic family. Are you really Catholic? Until you decide what path you want to take. Or if you're a Baptist or a Methodist, whatever. But if you're born into a household where it's all witches, like my daughters, I gave them an option. What I did was send them to Shoals, so they had some understandings of the Hebrew path. I let them go to Catholic churches and study it a little bit, Buddhism, a little bit of everything, so they would have a basis by which to choose what is more enlightening for them. They both happened to choose witchcraft, but it wasn't mandatory in my household. Absolutely not. Let's see, what else? We're going to do Sharon Hamill. Sharon. The 8 of Cups. Boy, that means someone around is imbibing too much or has in the past. There may be an addiction of some kind. It doesn't have to be drugs and alcohol. I'm addicted to chocolate. I don't know about you, so I'm not sure what this addiction is. It can be a way of thinking sometimes, is your addiction. It's an emotional need is what that is too. I think you have an emotional need that needs to be cared for. That means you need a psychologist or someone to help you with your emotions and balance them now, especially now. Cindy Lou, that sounds like a name should be in a song. Cindy. And here we go. The King of Cups. Now this represents a man who has wealth, of course, and is generous, and can come along and help you. And in this instance, it looks like he might be able to help you with making money. And there's a Pisces symbol and a Aquarian symbol, both. So I don't know if that's part of your chart or part of someone who will help you. And we have who? Maya D. I can't pronounce your last name, Maya. Sorry. I'm not gonna try. Okay? The Emperor. Uh-oh. Be careful who you choose to guide you. I don't know. There's so many people out there teaching magic, teaching religions. None of us know the whole thing, that's for certain, but if people are asking you to do things that are offensive in any way so that you can gain something through that path, don't do it. It's wrong. It's a red flag. You know, especially in witchcraft, when we do initiation, our initiations are really much more milder than the Masons and are very meaningful, and it changes your life. This says that you need to be careful of people telling you or reading things that are false. I don't mean false news. I don't know about that, but I do think that you need to take that pretty seriously. Janice Johnson. Now this is the 6 of coins. Now everybody wants me to say this, and I usually don't, but this could mean you're going to be given money or win money. It doesn't say when. I don't know when. I simply know that it's being handed to you, and you can expect it. That's amazing. Star Andrews. I love that name. Star. I love names like that. I'm not so sure about the Kardashians. That name Psalm. I don't understand that at all, but it's okay. Not my doing. I don't want to criticize. I just don't know what that child's going to do at that name when they start socializing. But he has a very strong father. I think his father will protect him. Oh my goodness, look at this. Magic, the magician. Your card is the magician. To me, that represents, oh my goodness, that you already have magic. You probably already know it. You know, most of us have had an experience like the phone rings and we're just thinking of somebody we haven't seen in 2 years, and the phone rings, you pick it up, it's them. That's psychic. And it happens sporadically. The reason we learn how to count into alpha and control it, that's when you close your eyes to do alpha, you keep them shut because you want to control your alpha screen and the alpha level. And by doing that, you also control the energies that come into your mind, the energies that come into your body, and you learn how to protect yourself. The science is very important, not belief. You don't have to believe it. Don't believe in magic. It's fine. It's real. So you don't have to be a believer. And you don't have to worship deities. We live with them. They're in the other world. So every day we live with family that's passed. But we also live with that world. There are people from ancient times that might even be a relative. And or someone that you may have genetic memory. Deja vu isn't always that you've had a past life at that moment, or that you've been there before. And reincarnation also may be genetic memory. They used to say the color of your eyes was genetic memory. That was it. That your body's making blue eyes or whatever. And you know something? That's not it. Magic is actual and real. Wanda Lavasura.
This month.
Yeah. Hi, Wanda. When are you coming back to Salem? We miss you. You're so much fun and nice. You really are. Now, if you're feeling really down and you're feeling like you can't come out of this, that's not true at all. And you have us. We're family. And the whole world is family right now. I'm connected to every single person that I'm being with right now. I'm part of your family because you're in your home and I'm in mine, and we're connecting for good reasons. And that has to do with a lot of social love, which is important. You don't need to be that frightened or worried. We're here for you. Anita Moore. Anita. Anita is an interesting name, and I know an Anita that is a witch, a third degree high priestess. I think she's in upstate New York now, I'm not sure. And her husband's name is Hawk, and he's a wonderful person. This is the Six of Wands. It's victory. It means you're going to win, or you've already won, even if you don't know it. You may not recognize what you've won and what you have, but you will. Dawn Jones. Dawn. Yeah, Dawn, I'm in your house too. Hi. Palace of Cups. There's another palace. The Palace of Cups means that from now on, you need to prepare for things like this. You need to have the cups full. You need to have medicine in advance. You have to have lighting situations so that if the lights go out, you have a way to light yourself and your house. You need to have food. There's nothing wrong with having canned food right now. And when this is over, we still should have a larder full of canned food and dry food that can be kept. In the 1960s, people were growing sprouts out of different grains in jars, like fresh sprouts, just at home in a jar. And they used diatomaceous earth at the bottom so it wouldn't develop any worms or anything bad. So you can store grains and pastas in tight-lidded things, but buy diatomaceous earth and put some in the bottom of that container, and you won't have to worry about bugs in your food. And it will last a long, long, long time. One time for a while, a wonderful friend of mine, Jody Hano, she's also a third degree high priestess, she bought for me from a survival place online where they do survival things, little tablets to clean water. If you have to drink water that's not good, and packaged food like dinners. Now, at one time they did that for the armies and the navies and everything, and it was pretty gross. Those dinners were awful, but those dinners will last for years and years. And she sent me this nice big box of it, and we actually tasted it. It was really good. It's good. So I suggest that's another option for people, is to go online and look for survivalist gear and see what you need to have in the house. And we also have to be careful of the weather, not just viruses and social impacts of any kind. Our weather is changing drastically, and we can have tsunamis, we can have earthquakes, we certainly are having tornadoes and all kinds of weather that is changing everywhere. And lately there's been a lot of seismic activity in the volcanoes around the globe. It can't hurt to have an extra bottle of rubbing alcohol and a few bandages, and or also, have a survival kit of some kind. And that would also mean, wouldn't it, batteries, if you have lamps that you need to use, and so many things. It's good to go on those sites and study what the survivalists are talking about and what they do. Those are the people that have a bunker somewhere filled in case there's another atomic blast. And they've been doing that since the 40s. But the facts are, there's nothing wrong with preparing, is there? We don't have to go to those extremes, but we sure need to think about it. Vanessa Klein. Vanessa, that's a glamorous name. There's a Vanessa, what's her name? The movie star. Ooh, what's her name? Oh, but anyway, she's lovely. It's a lovely name. Don't you think sometimes you can tell people who have certain names behave like other people who have the same kind of name? I know, I'm talking silly, I guess. But I think there's something to that, too. Because I have a name that every time I meet someone with that name, it's a disaster. So I think it has something to do with the name. Oh my goodness. Here, I'm gonna shuffle again. Vanessa. Oh yeah, I haven't done Vanessa. Vanessa, I need to shuffle. And then we have Ashley right after Vanessa. Ashley, I love that name too. Okay. The 9 of Coins. That's perpetuation of money. Not to worry, it's going to be there for you, and it will continue. Once you learn a way to earn your own money, and I mean your own. When you work for someone else, you're making money for them anyway. Why would you spend all those hours making money for someone else when you can sit at home in front of your computer, package up, some little thing you've made crafty, put it online and sell it, and you have a business. That's it. And a lot of people have those talents. And one of the biggies is going to, Goodwill, Savers, secondhand stores, yard sales, and finding things that you could resell. And it's amazing. I tell this story often. A friend of mine, many years ago, in the late 90s, decided she was going to do an online store and resell. So she found a dress in Goodwill. It looked a little bit retro, like it was like 40s looking dress. So she had it cleaned, took pictures of it, put it up on her website, and underneath it she wrote, "This is what women wore to dinner in the Second World War." She bought it for $17 and she sold it for $250. There are a lot of people who like retro clothing. And she has very good taste. Well, since then, her husband quit working so he could schlep all the packages to the post office. Like I said before, that's the trick. You've got to get it in the mail right away. There's not a person that I'm talking to that couldn't do something like that, unless you don't have a computer or a way to the post office. I mean, because that's really what it takes. Ashley Dalsey, another Ashley. It's a good name though. Palace of Coins. And I shuffled. You have the Palace of Coins. And in this case, um, the palace may be too expensive. You might want to rethink having a palace of coins. You may have to download just a little bit in almost everything, and it will turn out better for you, and it will be okay. It's going to be okay. Yes, I do. I think I'll keep going. It's 8 o'clock, but I know there's so many of you that want readings. I just think I should spend the time doing that for you. It's the only way I can give back. I'm, like I said, I'm 88 years old and a little bit housebound, even before this. So this is my way. I can't get up and put on a mask and go work in a hospital or anything like that. But I can sit here and try really hard to give you psychic information that will help you in your life. So yes, I'm going to continue for a while. All right? Let's see who else there is. Who is it? Rochelle Muff. I had an aunt. Her name was Mercedes. Auntie Mercedes was married like 8 times. A very Yankee woman. And Auntie was married to the president of Panama once, way back in time. And Auntie ended up having a nickname, a very New England, nickname. She was called Muffy. Aunt Muffy. 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups, again, is bounty. It's more than you can expect. It's good luck. You have to project that and let everything else go. It's like your mother, even when you're so deadly sick sometimes, and your mother goes, "Don't worry, dear, it's going to be all right." I seem to be saying that quite often, but these cards usually don't lie. And my interpretation of these cards usually is kind of spot on most of the time. Like I said, nobody's 100%, but I'm damn good. Okay, so this is wonderful. Good for you. Vanessa B. B. 9 of Coins. Now the 9, again, is perpetuation. That means you need to carry on, though, your education. And I'm not talking about a spiritual education necessarily. I'm talking about learning how to, whatever it is that you're choosing for a career, you might have to rethink it and re-choose, but you have to be diligent. You have to study. And also about socializing, and you need to study relationships. How to have a relationship, a real one. I think everybody knows who Steve Harvey is, the comedian. He's absolutely wonderful. He's written a profound book that every man and woman should read. It's called Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. It's all about relationships, and the next time, if you're looking for a relationship, before you get involved, you should read the book. It'll help you a great deal with finding out what is real and what is not real. It may lead you to a good marriage, actually. Michelle Maya, Knight of Cups. Michelle, this card in your case looks like someone who has walked away. And it could be a boss and the job is gone. I mean, it's something that has gone. I think it's a male person. And that means it's a red flag, not coming back. Ellie, chef. Ellie. Hi. Okay, Ellie. Seven of coins. That's the tree. The money tree? You got the money tree. But it looks like you could make money, or you could invest in some way with animals, or if you haven't, I don't know, you may be afraid of animals, but I don't think so. I think this is telling you to take a look at the possibilities of helping animals and or breeding animals or working with animals in some way. Kelly Galsky. Kelly, Ace of Cups. That's a wonderful thing. It's like a chalice. And it reminds me that you need to read more about the Renaissance, about Merlin too. Merlin may be a spirit guide for you. Tina Price, King of Coins. The King of Coins is like a wizard, like Gandalf, Merlin. It's a guide to wisdom that you need to pay attention to. You know, like I said before, if someone tells you to do something that's against all good nature, you just simply, that's not wise. I'm talking about a person who guides you in a safe and correct way. And this man is possible the one that can do that. Nick Gilliam. Nick. Nick, this card, it's a devil card. That represents genetic differences. That means either you're adopted or there's someone around you who is genetically different than their family. But sometimes you're genetically different even if you come from your mother. My daughter Penny is, I am 85% British, a little bit of Arab, and a little bit of other things, but mostly all Celtic. And my daughter Penny is, what?
Greek.
She's Greek, but she's also Iranian, etc., etc. All that whole area of the world, and I gave birth to her. So obviously that came from her father's mother, all that genetic. She got that from her father's mother. Because in genetics, you have to understand, it takes 3 women to create a child. Men can't pass on their own genes, they pass on their mothers. So when you are pregnant, it's because of his mother's genetics, your mother's genetics, and yours are the combination that creates a child. That child in the womb for the first 10 days is a female as well. And the only way it becomes a male is a chromosome breaks, changes, and then it becomes a male. We become a male. Kim Solomon. The Knight of Wands. Kim, this is something that you need to take on a more mannish stance. You need to be more masculine about things and take charge, and more courage. Just change things. Don't wait for somebody to give you permission, okay? Michelle Devlin. Michelle. The Nine of Cups, we've talked about this before. But this cup, this number 9 thing is telling me, I don't know if heart disease or diabetes runs in your family on either side, but it looks like you need to be more careful about your health right now, and make sure you get a checkup. And I'm not talking about the virus, I'm talking about in general your immune system. You need to have that immune system built up. I take prenatal vitamins since I was 50 years old. Reason being, they have a lot of folic acid, which is life-giving for pregnant women, for the baby inside. But after you're 50, you need something to regenerate your cells in your body, and that's what it does. So I take a prenatal vitamin, and I take it more than 3, but 3 times a week would be a good idea. Kathy, I don't know.
Siani.
Huh?
Siani.
Siani. I'm sorry, Kathy. The technician knows how to pronounce names. The 5 of coins. It looks like you have a great fear of poverty, or you've been taught to have a great fear of poverty. And once we have that in our minds, sometimes we create it. We create what we think and see, instead of lifting ourselves up and seeing ourselves prosperous, happy and healthy. We're so afraid. We kept seeing ourselves, on the street or doing without, and it's just the opposite. Then that begins to happen to you. Our brain projects your life. So it's time to see yourself in a better way, in a better light. I'm going to have to sign off right now. I've had really fun being with you again. I really do. I'm hoping all those witches out there are doing a good job, and I'm sure they are. And I don't know, I've said this before, but we're the number 1 religion in America right now. There are more witches in America than any other religion. So we should be able to do something with our magic. All right? Oh, and we have a crystal wheel meditation every Thursday night at 10 o'clock. The crystal wheel is from our temple, the Cabot Hermetic Temple. How do they get to it? The CabotHermeticTemple.org.
Yeah.
And then look for the crystal wheel. The crystal wheel is a meditation that is done every Thursday night at 10 o'clock.
On Facebook.
At what?
On Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, on Facebook. The crystal wheel is a meditation of solace. So you can go there to the wheel and ask for help. All the priests and priestesses that are meditating on the crystal wheel will pick up your vibes and help you. That's what it's for. We vision a crystal ring all around Salem up in the stratosphere. That's where we go to help you when we can. Again, that's free. You don't have to pay to go to the crystal wheel. We also have, I have a generator crystal. That means it's this big, that tall, been using it for many, many years, over 50 years. It's clear. It's the most beautiful thing. And what we're going to do is take some smaller points of quartz crystal, and we're going to do a magic circle with all of us, and we're going to charge all those little crystals with my big generator crystal. And they will be available at Enchanted after we've charged them. I think we might even do it on Facebook so people can see us charging the crystals. It's amazing. Sometimes quartz crystals will all of a sudden exude a light of some kind inside of them. Actually, sometimes like a bluish light comes, or dashing white light. Clear crystal, quartz crystal, has electrical resonance. It's extremely powerful. Think of the quartz crystal that's in your watch. How big is that? And it runs a watch? Then what about the crystals like this? Or the little points? Extremely powerful. Even science now is trying to learn to program them to talk back like a radio in some way, because you can program a crystal to do a specific thing, and you can set up the energy inside of it in many different ways. I think that's all the news I have right now. And you know, every ending is a beginning, and for which is this law. Where we enter in, from there we must withdraw. Good night, and so happy to be with you, and I'll see you again.